Is it time now? Did it change? Hello and welcome to Take Flight Live with Phoenix Stage Company, an award-winning 100% volunteer community theater organization located in Oakville, Connecticut. Hi everybody, I'm Ed Bassett, Executive Director of Phoenix Stage Company, here along with Tim Phillips.
The video's not starting.
Oh, well, hold on, please. Hold.
Hold.
Say hello, Tim.
Hi.
We're having technical difficulties. Something with the camera or something? I'm not sure exactly what's happening.
Is camera turned on?
Is the lens cap on?
No, it's not. It was working before.
Someone didn't do a checklist.
There we are.
Hello. I'm Ed Bassett, Executive Director of Phoenix Stage Company, and your host here with Tim Phillips. Say hello again, Tim.
Hello.
In the room with our technical producer, Michael Calabrese, and our lighting guru, Al Hathaway, is in the house somewhere.
We should do our.
Oh yeah, we need to do this thing here.
Boy, do we ever need to do this.
Here you
today.
go. Ready? Oh, we're 6 feet.
Wow. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what 6 feet is?
What else is it?
We did some research on this. Actually, you did some research on this, and we are actually 9.6 standard beer 6-packs apart from each other.
That's good. We'll drink our way closer.
9.6. He actually got a 6-pack container and put it out, and we measured it, and we did the math. So I'm going to have mine. Where's yours?
Al, I need my.
I need your bavage.
My
The
libation.
barrage.
Yeah.
And of course, we're drinking the Black Hawk here. Black Hog here.
Yeah. Here we go. It's in. Thank you. Socially distant.
What are you drinking tonight?
Black Hog.
I mean, yeah, I figured Black Hog.
The BHB.
Oh,
BHB.
Make
This
sure
is
I got
the
product placement there.
Product placement. Make it out because they're really good sponsors for us.
Yep.
So we appreciate them.
Oh,
Well, it's been another week.
it has been another
We
week.
so look forward to our Thursdays. You
Yes,
know,
we do.
we so
Salute.
do. Salute. Yeah, we're 9.6 6-packs apart.
Mhm. It's been a crazy week around the world, around the country, with things going on. We got fires in California, and we've got Hurricane Sally. Sally, is it? It's Sally, I think, right now. That's coming up. That
Not to be confused with Mustang Sally.
Hurricane Mustang Sally. That would be an awesome thing. And I know another one that we were just talking about. There's another one heading towards Florida. It's just crazy.
It is crazy.
It made me think about in all the things that you were talking about this before. You have something called a go bag.
I do have a go bag. I have several go bags.
And what's a go bag? G-O. Just
G-O, like go, right?
Like you have to go.
Yeah, because we've all experienced this kind of stuff before, but I lived in Texas where there were tornadoes. I experienced a house fire as a child and again as an adult. And so I kind of learned my lesson through life. And so I actually have a go bag in my truck. I have one at my house and I have one here at the theater. And my little go bag is just a backpack, and it has things that I need in case I need to leave somewhere quickly,
Right.
or if I'm trapped there. Like if I'm stuck here
Yes.
in a storm or something happens,
Or a very long play.
or very long. So I have in my go bag 3 days worth of medications.
Okay.
I don't take a lot of medication, but I have some blood pressure medication.
Sure,
So I have
yeah.
3 days for that.
Right.
I have some basic first aid supplies, Band-Aids, ibuprofen, some Neosporin and stuff. I have a change of clothes.
Yep.
Just to have them, right?
In
So if
case,
I have to grab this thing and go from my house or from whatever, I also have copies of important papers in my go bags,
That's a good,
so that I have those.
right.
I have them with me.
Official documents.
Official things that I need in case, God forbid, there's a fire at my house or something, and I grab my go bag and I go. And
Used to
next
kid
to my
about
door.
Ruthie is here. We'll say hi to Ruthie. used to kid about this and say that it was your zombie apocalypse bag.
I say that all the time. And it's kind of my apocalypse bag. If
Yeah.
something goes wrong,
But
if
I could
something,
well, you mentioned the other day with all the fires that we had out in California. What if something like that were to happen? That's about one of the only things really that could happen up in here. Or we also have tornadoes, and we have occasional
Right.
blizzards and things
Right.
like that. But in a case of like a fire, which is to me the most frightening thing you can happen, when you're given only so many hours, warning,
minutes,
you have to
minutes in
you
some
could have
cases.
to-
And there were interviews with some people that had bins
Yeah.
that were prepared, that had copies of family photos in them and papers and things they didn't want to lose. And so they were
Yeah.
prepared that if
Yeah.
they had to leave, that bin got thrown into the car and everybody climbed in with all of their other stuff with their go bags.
Yep.
And they left, and they had clothing to change into, and they had medications, and they had things. I just feel like preparedness. I think the word prepper has gotten kind of a bad rap
Yes.
over the last few years, especially with all these TV shows, because they look like a bunch of wackos,
Right.
Like, I'm preparing for
I
an
have my-
F5 tornado to hit the
Yeah.
entire country.
Yeah.
Like, just be prepared
Yeah.
for any circumstance that would force you to leave your house, leave
Mhm.
your home, or to be stuck in your car, or
Mhm.
you should be prepared. And my go bag now, we're coming towards winter,
Yeah.
my go bag in the truck will change
Sure.
because I will add things like those chemical hand warmers, the little things that you squish,
Yeah.
and you can warm your pockets and things. Those go in my bag, and I make sure that there's a blanket in the truck, and I make sure. So I just am a believer in being prepared for what if.
I
What
have
if?
to admit that in the past I had that in my car.
Yeah.
When I was on the road a lot.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter, my big fear would be going off the side of the road on a snowbank or something and losing control of the car and going off and being stuck down there
Right.
for a period of time.
With no cell service.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
how would I mean, this goes back to the days when we were all Boy Scouts in my family.
Yeah.
Growing up. And Bruce, if you're watching, you remember all this stuff. And we always had that ready, but I don't have that now. I'm kind of surprised. Now, Laura, of course, I married a Virgo, so she's probably working on it right now as we speak.
Yeah. It's just, I think it doesn't hurt to be prepared.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have a small one in my truck.
Yep.
That's just one day's change clothes,
Yeah.
and I've actually busted into it while I was
No, I know.
here.
Yeah.
I've like gone and grabbed something out of it because I spilled something on myself or something. And then,
Yeah.
but I make sure that it's packed and ready to go. And the one at home is a little bit bigger, a little bit more complex.
Yeah.
It's by the door, so I can grab it to leave if I need to.
Oh,
And it has a little bit more stuff in it.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you have to be prepared for. It's just better to be prepared
Yep.
than to not be prepared.
Do you have a can of Spam in there?
I have Spam singles.
Oh, which is even better.
Because Spam singles, these are the most
Somebody said.
amazing things. It's a slice in a foil bag and you rip it. You can eat it raw or you can cook it. So, but I do have that kind of stuff. When I have some trail mix,
Yep.
power bar,
Yeah.
like a protein bar.
Okay.
Get your favorite one at your
So
grocery store.
the-
And they have expiration dates on them. Just check it every once in a while. I just feel like being prepared.
Yeah.
Then I can't blame anybody but myself.
So we know now the biggest lesson of all this is if some major tragedy hits Connecticut, find Ed and hang out with him because he has all the stuff.
And I'll take you to the really good place, but I won't tell you where that is.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe you can fit into his underwear.
Yeah. So,
All right.
and Michael's looking at me like I'm one of those prepper guys on TV, the weirdos on TV. Yeah.
We have some.
You'll
what Eric's
learn
saying.
one day. Well,
I said you should see what Eric's saying in the chat.
Oh,
so there-
Eric, you should be prepared.
his
be
idea of preparing to make sure his
prepared.
phone is charged. That's about it.
You know,
Or he
um,
said he has a bag full of snacks and it's going to be going with him.
well,
So-
and that's great. And you guys, you have a dog to worry about, and other people have kids to worry about.
Yeah.
Me, the cats will stay behind. Sorry, but they hate to be picked up anyway. I'm not going to grab them and try to carry them out of my house.
Oh.
I'm like, they'll be running away from me the whole time. But I'll make sure I stand there and yell to firefighters to go get my
Get
cats.
the cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had some birthdays. Nicholas.
We did. Michael Cassidy, also known as Artemis. His birthday was yesterday. Happy belated
Michael.
birthday, Artemis.
Yep.
Robert McPherson.
Yes. our
Rob
Sir,
Gergatch.
Yep. Sir Guy.
Yes, Sir Guy. His birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, Oh, congratulations. Happy birthday.
Eric Lindblom, WZBG,
Yep.
backstage.
We've been both on that show several times.
His birthday is next Tuesday, the 22nd.
Yep.
Also, Karen
Karen
Willie,
Willie,
Mama
yeah.
Willie.
Mama Willie's.
Her
happy
birthday's
birthday.
next Tuesday as well, the 22nd. So happy birthday to you, Karen Willie. I've been meeting with her every Tuesday night with the whole gang because we're working on this project
you're right.
for Phoenix Stage Company for the Halloween holidays.
Yep.
It's called 133 Maine, a paranormal investigation. Ooh. So some of you will be hearing from us because we're going to be asking for some testimonials.
Yep.
Jeannie Martin, if you're listening, I'll be sending you an email soon. And a few other people, we're going to be asking for some testimonials from faces that are recognizable from Phoenix. So,
Sure.
yeah.
We've also had a major tragedy this morning that we learned about.
We did. I was shocked to hear. I was really shocked.
Yeah.
When you told me, I was shocked. I'm not on Facebook, and
Mhm.
and you told me that Susan Powers
Yep.
passed away. She lost her battle with cancer, and I was absolutely shocked.
Yeah.
Uh,
And she's been here, not here, but
no, she was in a
Naugatuck.
one. She was a one act. She was in a one act in this location, but she was with us down in Naugatuck at our smaller theater in a new musical as part of our newest project called Just Around the Bend,
Just Around the Bend.
written by Carl Gallmeyer. And so, yeah,
But everybody,
I'm shocked.
if you've been to any of the theaters, chances are you've seen Suzanne.
Yeah,
New
she was
Milford.
in Assassins at the Warner, which was
Yep.
one of my all-time favorite productions ever that I've
Yes,
seen.
and she was wonderful there.
She was Squeaky Fromm in that, and I really am just still shocked.
It's sad.
She was
Sad
obviously a very private person, and I certainly didn't know.
Well, she
was
moved to
battling
North
this.
Carolina. I was not aware
To go
of
to
that.
school, yeah,
To go to
apparently
school.
go back to school.
And so our prayers and thoughts are with
With her family and her friends and the entire
and
theater
everybody that's ever
community.
worked with her.
Yeah.
She was a darling lady. I didn't know her.
She was a wisecracker, I'll tell you.
Is that right?
Yeah, she was. She had this dry wit about her that you'd be talking, and she would just come out with these things like ricochets, right? And so smart and just witty, and she was a firecracker.
Well, we're gonna miss her. We're gonna miss you, Susan.
Yeah. So the entire theater community
And speaking
has lost an angel. So
and speaking of that, we want to wish our break legs to the folks up in Torrington because they're going to be on next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, at the
And that's some of our friends in the
Pleasant
cast.
Valley, the Pleasant Valley Drive-In. They'll be doing Assassins, socially distanced at the drive-in, and we can talk to one of our guests about that a little bit later.
Yes, that's true. Our theme this week is we're going to be talking about couples on stage, and our guests are Ian and Emily Diedrich, and who have done a lot of shows together.
Yeah.
And we will talk to them about doing shows together and doing not shows together and taking turns to do shows. And we're also going to be playing jargon gymnastics with them and also sharing. We already did. We shared the week's news.
Yeah, and we share some good news too.
Yeah.
We'll do that a little later too.
Okay.
We both have a little bit of good news and some fun stuff to share.
And something interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So, do you have something like? Okay, looks like they joined us
Oh,
already.
you're not supposed to be on yet.
Oh, sorry.
Bye.
you.
We'll introduce you. Bye.
Hi, that's
Bye.
our mystery guest.
Okay, there we go. Boy, this is a night right here. Here we go.
I'm gonna have another drink right now. Yes.
now.
So,
You think this was our first night?
Michael has that look like it is our first night.
Do you see what I'm wearing in honor of our guest tonight?
Yes, that's your.
So I'm
baseball.
gonna stand up. Oh
Okay.
wait, I knocked this over because I gotta show you the back.
Okay.
Okay, you're gonna get my backside now. Oh wait, you can't see me because I'll do this. You see it?
Yeah, we can see it, but they can't read it.
Oh, it's my baseball jersey from Bleacher Bumps.
Bleacher Bums.
Yeah.
Which Ian
which
directed.
I put it on and I'm like, it's a little bit big on me, and I'm really so pleased about that.
Well, that was
because
10 years ago.
Because it fit me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm really kind of fat right now. So, well, yeah,
It is what it is.
I have COVID weight on.
So,
I lost all my, I regained all my Weight Watchers weight. It's kind of,
cold belly.
it's really,
the co-belly.
yeah.
So couples, working with couples, doing shows with couples.
Yeah.
Have you had that having to direct couples on stage before?
Well, yeah, a lot. And, it takes a little bit of, getting used to, my very first, like when I was directing Writer's Cramp, or How Will Shakespeare Got Into Show Biz
Yes.
down in Naugatuck.
Yeah.
That was Rob Rishnowski's first show with us.
Yes.
I had never met Rob and Tori, and they both came in and auditioned. And I was really nervous because having never worked with them before,
Mhm.
not knowing personalities, what would it be like to have, the doubleness on there,
Sure. Yeah.
So I definitely took that into account, like these, because they were all new people for me. I hadn't directed anyone on there except for Kristen Jacobson,
Yes.
who ended up in the cast, but everyone else I had never directed anyone.
Okay.
So definitely thinking about put a couple on the first time or not, like my first time. So I didn't, and it would have been a fabulous show with. It was a good experience. I was able to work with Tori later.
Yeah.
And since then we've worked together on shows together, and it's, there's a comfort level, I think,
Sure.
not knowing.
Yeah. And there are plenty of couples or people that have gotten together and become a couple and
Yes.
that are both actors.
I mean, I directed Michael and Eric in a show,
Yeah.
3 Murders and It's Only Monday,
Yeah. And,
and Eric was very good about it.
and Tori and Rob, of course, as we mentioned.
Michael, you were good about it too. I just had to do that because he was in the middle of, he's typing something frantically.
Very
He's
seriously
Yes, he's
typing.
very seriously typing and stuff. But yeah, no, it was very good. And Ian and Emily and I have worked on shows together.
Yep.
I don't know that I've ever been in something together with both of them in the show. Maybe
Neverland Christmas.
Scrooge, the musical.
Oh, that
Yeah.
you were on
Yes,
stage with them. Yes.
on stage with them. But we've worked on productions before, and they were, in other things.
I will say I've worked. I was backstage for a couple of shows that they were on stage together. All Shook Up being one of them, and it just struck me that couples, for the most part, it's never an issue. They both come and they bring their own
I
stuff.
have to say, more power to them, because sometimes it's kind of like your time away. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, kind of thing, and others not. It's
And
like
we will definitely talk about this with them, but
sure.
the whole dynamic changes when children or dogs get involved in the equation.
Sure.
And then that's when you start seeing them switch off a lot. I know Rob and Tori were doing that a lot.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
And Ian and Emily the same.
It's your
way.
turn to do a show. It's your turn to do a show.
Right.
It's your turn to do a show.
It's almost
your
like
turn
they
to do a
look at the
show.
calendar of what's everywhere in their range of theaters to work at, and say, all right, I want to do this. It's like a negotiation. Who's going to work what show, what time?
Sure. Well, and honestly, when we're planning seasons here, if there's a show that is very fight heavy and fight oriented, that I know that I'm going to need, or we are going to need Rob's stage combat expertise to work with us on, I have to make sure, and we take this into consideration, that we don't butt it up against a show that we know Tori would be really interested in being in. We take all of that into consideration with all of the couples that we work with.
Together.
With all of, we look at all this stuff. When we have a number of actresses that either work in education or they have young children at home.
Mhm.
So we know not to put a show at the time that school's going to start, right at that time, because then that pretty much all those teachers are going to say, "Ooh, there's a busy time for me," and all those parents with young kids are going to go, "Nope, we can't do it."
I seem to recall during several of our big parties here, when you were announcing the next season, a lot of people were looking at those summer shows.
The summer shows.
To say, hey, I have free time now, and we
summer shows. February, March.
Yeah.
February, March seem to work as well for a lot of families.
Yeah.
So yeah, we took that into account a lot.
Sure.
And I would call people and ask their opinions of where you think things fit better in terms of scheduling with schools and with other stuff. I don't know the school year, and so we took all of that into account when we plan our seasons.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know, I can't speak for all theaters, but I think everyone has to kind of do that.
Well,
Part
yeah, if
of
they
it, part
want-
of it
if
is
they wanna-
audience, but
if-
part of it has to be your actors and
Right.
all of the volunteers that you have coming and working on shows.
Well, a lot of the theaters have years of experience of saying what times work right to get the most people involved and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you know what? We're going to ask our viewers, if you're out there, you're going to keep Michael busy for a minute. What is your favorite month to do a show?
Ah,
Tell us what your favorite month to do a show is during the year. I like holiday shows.
oh, I don't.
I love
I
holiday
mean,
shows.
I love holiday shows, but I don't love being in them
I do.
because
do.
it just takes so much work.
Yeah.
I've done several Christmas shows, including last year when I was in Thomaston for a
A
Christmas, story. It killed the whole Christmas, really.
Sure.
Because it was a big part for one thing, but it also, the rehearsals, I mean, they start before Thanksgiving, well before Thanksgiving, early November, and you don't have time. There's a lot going on in our
Oh,
house on
geez.
Christmas.
Our start in October because we
sometimes you
open
have
in
to.
November. We would
Right.
always open the weekend
Right.
after
But
Thanksgiving.
it takes a lot of time.
Sure it does.
I mean, Halloween, doing like, we've done some scary shows. We've
Yeah.
done some, what
well,
was
we
the
tried
one
to be
with
scary.
what was the one with?
It was a dark and stormy night.
It was a dark and
It
stormy
was a
night.
dark and stormy
Yeah,
night.
we had that beautiful set in Naugatuck, and you went crazy with the cobwebs.
I learned how to do cobwebs. Dan Willie taught me how to do cobwebs
Yeah,
with a screw gun, some plastic cement and rubber cement and a film
and
canister and an
it was
old fan.
awesome.
It was amazing. It was
looked
so much
really
fun.
good. Yeah. So that's a little different for me because there's not much going into my Halloweens. Your Halloweens are a lot different than mine. You're very involved with what goes on in Halloween.
Yeah.
But no, it's Christmas shows. I'm done with them. I swore to Laurie after Christmas Story that I will never do another Christmas show again.
We'll wait and see about that.
Well, it won't be this year, that's for sure.
Well, it won't be this year. There's not going to be any Christmas shows this year. I don't
Christmas
think.
is canceled.
No, it's not.
Oh.
Don't say that. Christmas has even more meaning now than it did before.
Okay, Scrooge.
Uh,
Oh, wait.
Why would I
I'm
be?
being
You're
this
the
kid, I know.
Scrooge. You're the
Oh,
bah humbug, and I'm not.
I really
you know,
am. It's all about that stuff.
Yeah.
What do you say we bring on in our guests since they made
Well,
a
yeah.
early
Hold on
appearance?
just a second. We have to play some music.
Okay, so play some
Uh,
music.
and-
Oh, we have a
wait,
big
oh, wait.
introduction for us.
We have a long bio, but we have our information. From
Oh, we
our
have
producer.
information. We
Our
have,
thank you, Michael. May I have the envelope, please?
yes. So what did it say?
Oh.
Mhm.
Lucia says
Oh, hi,
March
Lucia.
because it fills the boring winter.
So that's a good point.
And Eric likes February, March, April.
Yeah.
Casey.
Casey says September, October, and Amber says sewing.
Sewing?
Oh, September.
No, that doesn't say. It doesn't say. Oh, it says spring. Amber says spring.
Spring, whatever I wrote.
Spring.
I was going to say seving, but sewing looks, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's spring. Yeah.
Fills
so-
the boring winker?
Winter.
Winter.
Oh, winter. Okay.
It fills the boring winter.
Winker.
So listen, I'm gonna talk a little bit about our guests really
You
quickly
do that.
before we bring them on.
Before we bring them on.
Yeah, before we bring them on.
Yep.
Here we go. Emily and Ian Diedrich have been performing together for 24 years. Shows they've done together include Zombie Prom, Play It Again, Sam, Jesus Christ Superstar, Scrooge, the musical, All Shook Up, The Wedding Singer, It's a Wonderful Life, a live radio play, Matilda, Our Town, Bye Bye Birdie, Godspell, Chess, and so many more. Here at PSC, you've seen Emily on stage in the last 5 years. It's a Wonderful Life, a live radio play, Octet Bridge Club, The Cover of Life, Neverland Christmas, and a bunch of one acts. She's an accomplished choreographer. I've worked with her a lot in that capacity, and I was just lucky enough recently to direct her in The Drowsy Chaperone.
Oh, yes, I forgot. How could I forget that? And Ian was directed our very first production here at Phoenix Stage Company, Bleach Your Bums, which was over in Naugatuck, and has been seen on stage in every Christmas story ever told 4 times. So far. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, brilliant. A Man of No Importance, Neverland Christmas, and The Last Supper. He's done lighting designs for Phoenix, and many other theaters in the area, and is an accomplished director, lighting designer, carpenter, and set designer, as well as an actor besides that. So
True. Emily and Ian, come on down.
for real this time.
For real.
Now?
There they are.
There you
Okay.
are. Hi guys.
Mary.
Hello.
Hi. Ian, I wore this shirt in honor of you. Please.
I know. I've been watching it. It's beautiful. I'm moved.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
Let's talk about doing shows together. You guys, when I sent you this topic, and you just kind of inundated me with how many shows you've done together.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been together for a while, so that just kind of happened. And then we were both into theater from
Yeah.
a young age, so it just kind of.
The first show that I did with them, they were both in the children's choir for Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at the Warner.
No,
I was.
just him.
Emily was not.
He
Just
was.
Ian.
And then later you were in the show.
Yeah, well, he was Jesus and I was Mary Magdalene. Not Mary Magdalene. Oh my gosh, that
No,
was
we're
just
talking.
Superstar.
Yeah,
I was the narrator.
She's the
And
narrator.
he was
The show.
he
that was when the
Joseph.
Opera House closed.
when the Opera House closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I had more hair then.
Yeah.
And of course, you guys have been married for how many years now?
We've been married for
I
almost
told
11.
you the questions would be easy. Okay.
We've been married for almost 11. We've been together for almost 17.
Right. And you have two wonderful children in Hunter and Charlotte. Let's go right to that. How did your theater life change because we were talking before the show, Emily, about you were
Yeah,
carrying
you know,
Hunter right to the end of your working on stage or off stage.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, Ian and I had started having kids a little bit earlier than
Our contemporaries.
right, sure. Lots of our friends and all that sort of stuff. And we were very adamant going into it, like, all right, we're gonna really try and not let this affect. Obviously we're gonna have to make choices here and there, but we really wanted to kind of like, this isn't defining us. Theater is our lives and we can't give it up. So yeah, I was stage managing. I choreographed a show while pregnant. And
especially when you were pregnant with Hunter,
right,
that's when the Opera House was
closing.
So
Right. Cinderella was
when-
the last big musical.
yeah, so when Hunter was born in October of 2010, and then the Opera House closed in that December. So there's actually like pictures of all of us on the Opera House stage with Hunter like in like this tie-dye Joseph onesie.
Yeah, I gave birth to Hunter in the midst of rehearsals for Joseph.
Yeah, she tried out.
Oh.
Very, very pregnant.
Yeah.
Had the baby.
On
And
stage
then
from the-
he was like 3 weeks when the show went up.
Oh wow.
Well, and you were performing in the last 5 years at Phoenix Stage Company in Naugatuck. And I remember that Grammy, Agnes, would have the carrier with little Hunter in it
Yeah,
behind
when
the
he was
box
still
office.
so little, he would come
And
to
he
all the
would just-
rehearsals.
Yeah, it was
The
a
whole
lot.
thing.
It was a lot easier when having children was a novelty to other people. Now everybody's just like, everybody's got them now. It's so
Well,
now it's just
yeah, they had lots of aunties, theater aunties and uncles when
yeah.
you guys were having kids because nobody else had them, and everybody was like, "Look how cute!" Now everybody's
Yeah.
got them.
I just like to think you guys are trendsetters. That's all.
yeah, it's
Right, that's
fashionable.
exactly
It's
what it
fashionable
is.
now to have children.
So
What can
what
I
is-
say?
So for you guys, has there been anything that is the most challenging aspect of trying to
Oh, sure.
when
Well,
you're doing shows together or as a family?
yeah, as Hunter got, so still sticking with the kids things, as Hunter got older and started walking and getting into everything, we started having to like take turns and do all of that scheduling and decide on what we really wanted to go for instead of, there was a point in our lives where each of us were doing 3 shows at a time. So obviously that
Well,
changed.
and a lot of it, and now working in, because I teach in theater as well. So like the schedule for work sometimes has a lot to do with those kinds of things. I might have a show at school or something like that. So there's always those kinds of problems. So yeah, we gotta have to kind of negotiate out our schedules. Like, oh, they're you know, this theater's doing this and this theater's doing that, and I'd really love to do this. And yeah, we talk about, you know, those oh, that would be a really nice show. And honestly, recently we've been able to do a show together. I mean, we did Neverland Christmas but that was like everybody in the whole family, and that was actually really nice.
That's right.
But about 2 years ago, we were able to do White Guy on a Bus down in Stratford at Square One.
Yes, at Square One.
Yeah, and that was fun because we got to do something for the first time together in years. And it was a really interesting project. And you know, and that's another thing that we always kind of look at is, you know, what really can we invest our time into, because it is limited. You know, our kids are in the other room opening the door right now because we can't, you know, there's no real other time.
Yeah, we expect that. And you know what, I'm sure it doesn't help your cause that both of you are like uber talented, and so you're the people that get the calls when we're like, we need someone to do this, let's call Ian, let's call Emily, you know. So you get the people begging you to, can you please come do this show? I think Ian, that's how you ended up in A Man of No Importance, right? It was actually, that's a really interesting story, because so you were talking to me about this, and you're like, I can't really do the show unless we have a tenor that can sing this. And I was like, because we were just moving onto campus, and it was going into the school year, and it's you know, August, September area, October, whenever that was. And so, you know, rehearsals and whatever else. And then apparently I didn't know about this, but a former student of Westover who had just graduated that past year had auditioned, or Leah Nichelle, and got into the show, and you guys were asking about if you guys knew anybody who could do the part of Robbie, and she had brought up my name, and you were like, oh no, we've asked Ian. Yes, we've already asked Ian.
But I said yes. No, and it was beautiful. I actually that was a lovely, beautiful show. I'm really happy I was a part of that. So
and that was you did you ended up doing the lighting for that show for us as well, and it was really beautiful. It was really beautiful lighting in that show.
I want to ask you something about when you have done shows together and you're rehearsing together, which depends on the show. Sometimes you rehearse together, sometimes you rehearse separately. But when you rehearse together, like when you're running the show at that point, do you bring it home with you after the show, after the rehearsal? You sit there on the drive home, back home, and go, what do you think? We should have done this, or I could have done this, or this was awesome, or that was awesome.
We do that anyways.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we do that watching television.
Can I
It's like, I
don't know if I like that acting choice.
Yeah, or like, you know, I mean, there's we'll kind of just.
I have a quick question for you guys on that. Like, I know with Eric and I, we'll be on a drive home, and Eric will look at me and go, would you be open to criticism about this? And like, he'll open it by being like, are you open to this, before telling me how he feels about how I did?
And of course, Michael always says no.
I don't think we ask each other first. We just do.
You just
been married for a little time.
Yep.
Give it a 10 note, and then
so in that vein, I'm gonna put you each I'm gonna put you each kind of up to the wire here. So I would like you each to tell me if there's a role that the other has played that is your favorite. So is there something Ian's done that is your favorite, Emily? And
I have mine.
For me, it's difficult. I have a ton.
Yeah.
Emily is a really really good, like, she's a phenomenal actress. She's a really phenomenal drama actress. But I honestly, what I don't think that many people really get to see is how funny Emily is. And when she did Columbia in Rocky Horror Picture Show, it was the funniest most inappropriate. I enjoyed it very much, but it was hilarious, and it shocked me. You know what I mean? Those are always fun times where we try not to show each other what we're doing each other, and a show, if we're not in a show, we kind of like try to block each other out because we don't really want to know.
Yeah.
But that totally surprised me. I didn't see that character coming at all, and it was hilarious.
Well, I agree, because we did Drowsy Chaperone together, and Kitty was hysterical.
Yeah.
And
really,
I think that
yeah.
really surprised a lot of people because
Yeah.
they're not used to seeing you
Right.
in that kind of a character.
That's
and
true.
it was brilliant.
Yes, because
She's a
she's
phenomenal character actress. Like, she's got the looks for the leads. We all can see. But no, but you are phenomenal.
Thank you.
You're
I
just-
actually actually prefer the caricature roles, like the even if it's when I did Love, Sex, and the IRS,
Yeah.
and being Connie and just being absolutely out of my mind psycho.
And yet when you do shows like The Cover of Life, brilliance, like
Yes.
brilliance, seriously.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Like, those are those kinds of things that, like, I knew from just watching Emily on stage that she can do those kinds of things, but to be able to see it, 360 degrees is just it's awesome. I love to see it.
Yeah.
and
Octet Bridge Club is another one.
Yeah.
That you just to see the what your character was going through, that was so incredibly painful. And she pulled it off tremendously.
Thanks,
It was
guys.
painful to watch upstairs.
it was very good.
We had a
And
drinking
so
game
you're
around
so tell
Oh,
us
so it's flip
about
it back
Ian.
to-
Flip it back.
So I have a couple, but I think I have to stick with Judas and Jesus Christ Superstar. I just think range wise that really showcased everything, and vocally, it's one of those things. We were talking to friends. We've had this discussion a couple of times with friends who haven't necessarily been in the theater world, at least locally, for a while, and just the way things worked out, more of the things that Ian has done specifically recently aren't musicals.
Oh yeah.
And so there are people, close friends of ours, who still don't realize how well he sings and how massive his range is. And I think Judas was just one of those parts that showcased his insane vocal abilities, but also, it's a gut-wrenching persona to take on as well.
I had some beautiful hair in that. I'll tell you.
I have to say, Ian, that one of my all-time favorite roles that I've ever seen you do is in Assassins.
Yeah, that was another one of
was-
my,
That was such an amazing performance, and you're getting the opportunity to do it again.
Yeah. I was gonna shave my mustache tonight, but I was like, oh no, I still got a couple more days of teaching before I should subject my students to a weird booth mustache. But yeah, I'm really excited to get a chance to take another look at it. Well, it's been 5 years since we did it before, and we got a chance to see it. They put it up for us so we can watch it for a limited time, and then take it away. But it's interesting being able to kind of look back. I know some people can't necessarily watch themselves, and I understand that. I can respect that.
I have no trouble watching myself.
I that's how I learn. It's how I learned. It's how I can be like, that I didn't believe myself there, or that was weird looking, that was clunky, or that was weird. And so like I can kind of go back and look at that, and that was so I'm excited to go back and kind of look at that, because I'm a little older now. I think I'm a little grumpier, more of a grumpier Booth. I seemed like, cause I'm just kind of thinking about myself between the last time I did it and now, cause I've been in rehearsals for it for,
And I think that's okay. I think to look back at old, shows of yourself to see where you are and how you did things. I definitely don't believe in some of these people that like to watch like to tape rehearsals and then watch it that night or stuff like that. I absolutely don't like that.
No, and I just, if I saw myself on camera, I would never eat again. So I don't even,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't even
right.
watch the YouTube channel. I just go, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did you
listen,
call it the YouTube
what-
channel.
The
know,
YouTube channel.
I
You
don't
know
watch-
the thing you're on.
Yeah, that thing we're on.
I can't watch it, my YouTube channel. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, no,
So
I'm.
listen, one of our good friends, Casey Ross, is asking, she wants to know about your show on the Travel Channel about Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Oh,
She wants to know if you auditioned, were you approached, and what was the experience like?
so we actually originally got called. The director of Square One, who was also the director of White Guy on a Bus, Tom Houlihan, who's an amazing director, has a ton of really interesting connections. And he and I were in conversations, and I was talking about the fact that, like, I'm trying to pursue it in a little bit more of a professional light and doing some commercials and stuff. And he said, wait a second, I have something perfect for you. I'm going to have them email you tomorrow. And sure enough, the Travel Channel emailed me and was like, what's your phone number? Tom sent us over pictures, and you two are perfect for Ed and Lorraine Warren. And so we did a quick reading. Just, the first time we did it, they're both reenactments. There's no lines or anything. So they just wanted a little feature of us doing stuff. So the very first time we did it,
It was for the Annabelle doll.
yeah, it was for the Annabelle doll.
We actually got to go to the Warren's house.
We
and
did.
Saw the
We
Annabelle.
went to the museum, and
Yeah.
actually Lorraine was still alive at this point. Unfortunately she was on hospice, but all of her family came in, priests came in to bless the set before we started working on
really
it.
weird.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was,
Well,
anyways,
but
no,
point being, there was lots of interesting people,
yeah,
including their son-in-law,
it was cool.
who's kind of taking over it now. And then because they liked working with us so much, they asked us back for the second time. And the second time is the one that recently aired. And that we had a lot more to do with this. And this one was the actual Conjuring story based in Rhode Island. And so we went to the historical society in that town. And they have this old house.
It wasn't
set
the
up.
house.
It wasn't the house. No,
we just got some. Yeah.
but you're not allowed to be in the house.
Oh.
Nobody's physically allowed to go in because of
Whatever.
happens, or misgivings or whatever. But it was super fun, really interesting.
Let me just give a little background in case people are not aware. Ed and Lorraine Warren are the Connecticut famous ghost chasers,
Paranormal investigators.
That's
Yeah,
Correct.
get it right.
technical. I met them. They came to my high school when I was in high school in the 70s in Southbury, and there was
They went to everybody's high school.
Yeah, that's true.
They were very, very old.
Yes, they were. Am I correct in saying that they investigated the Amityville horror?
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went down to Amity, to the Amity house.
Yeah, and that was
Emmys,
one that was made.
And the Emmys.
And so, what channel was this? This was put on to
The Travel Channel.
Travel Channel. So yeah, this is one of those times where you're flipping the dials, and all of a sudden, hey, wait.
Yeah.
So
I
they,
know that face.
so-
The actual
they-
show was the most terrifying places in America.
Oh, there you go.
That's creepy. And yeah. And so they did that show together, and then they recently, the whole family just did a commercial
We did.
for Longini sausages. I just like saying that name.
Yes, I know.
Longini.
Oh
We
yeah,
don't have a product to place, or we would.
Yeah.
they were good. It was a good little, and the kids loved it too because they,
Yeah.
the little kid gets a camera stuck in their face. Especially our kids. They're
Especially our kids.
Ham it up.
I absolutely adored Charlotte's eye roll.
Right? It was epic.
She gives the best eye roll ever. It's just,
Yeah.
it's Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because of COVID and all of the precautions that everybody's trying to take. The crew was a lot less people than it commercial normally is, but they also came to our house. So we used our kitchen and our dining room as the location. And so it was really interesting to have pictures of like our entire living room torn apart because there's all of these cameras everywhere and everything.
It was fun.
And so it's just these like two guys, basically the director and cinematographer, and they're both doing sound and all of that sort of stuff.
Well, then there's the representative for.
And then the representative, right? But so
Linguini.
they could very easily see Charlotte's eye roll, and like they had to do it 1,000 times because they couldn't stop laughing.
That's awesome.
It's the Longini eye roll.
Yeah.
Linguini.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a meme.
It'll
Somebody
be-
is going
Right?
and
Let's
it's
make that
going to
happen
be a
now.
meme.
Yeah.
Will be a meme. by
The
the-
Charlotte eye roll is going to be some famous meme.
That's
I can
amazing.
absolutely see it.
Any once we're back up and running again, do you guys have bucket list shows that you've either done and want to do again, or that you haven't been able to have the chance to do yet?
Yeah.
So many.
So many. And, I think both of us have really lucked out. I mean, as far as some of the parts that we've been able to play, and the casts that we've been able to work with,
Right.
That's honestly one of the most important things,
Yeah.
really. I mean, I'd rather do a mediocrely written show, but do that with a cast that I know is 100%, just committed and on and everything else, just because it's that much more fun when you can kind of really, when you can really,
That's when you get
really
That's
explore.
when you get the most out of the work too. I always think. You get the right people together.
So both of you here on this stage have played really heavy emotional roles. I mentioned the cover of Life, and Ian in Cuckoo's Nest. Come on.
They're going to be talking about that for a long
seriously.
time.
So when you leave a performance like that, does it take you a while to kind of wind down and get back into your own headspace, or do you find that you're able to just come off the performance and be done?
No. I have those. It's weird because now that we're older and like don't necessarily want to go out to the bar with friends until 2 a.m. I kind of do want to go home and lay down. But at that like kind of like performance high where you'd go out with and hang out with people, still kind of there, and I still want it, but I'm also very tired. So
especially after roles like that, after
Right.
those emotional, really crazy, heavy.
Oh yeah,
Ones that take a lot out of you.
it takes a lot out of you. You feel empty. You really do feel empty afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was not just emotional; it was physical as well. And,
Right. Well, regardless, every time I play a serious role, I have like this major crying scene on stage.
You
Yeah.
do.
You do.
Yes, you
And
did.
I feel like I need an Oscar just for crying on cue.
Yeah.
I scream a lot. I've noticed that.
You do.
I'll
you
do this.
scream a lot.
And I'm like, yeah. So
Yeah.
Well, and I will tell you, we all hope that when we do performances, we affect people and we
Yes.
want them to remember us and we want to appreciate it. I can tell you, Ian, that one of your roles will go down in history as teaching generations something. And that is that, in every Christmas story ever told, you play the ghost of Christmas past. And you are, you come out of that room and go, yeah, kick, and you do your whole heel kick. And there's a story for Phoenix Stage Company that when we were in for a show called Anybody Home, we had a young actor who came through the door and he was supposed to be an Elvis character, and he came in and he kind of did his thing and he went, heel kick. And we were like, what? That's not Elvis. Well, but yeah, that's the Elvis in the Christmas show. No. no, Elvis never said
Yeah, kick.
you know, so it was like so you have rewritten
karate.
the
Yeah,
history of a
karate.
very famous, you know,
Yeah.
person with your kick Elvis. we have a question or a comment.
No, I have to personally comment. Emily, I always think back to Cover of Life when you have your major crying scene with me on stage, then we have to go back, or you're crying, we come back, and we were backstage for a moment, and we have to immediately fast forward to numerous days later when we have to go back out, and you would have to not only change, but almost suck the tears back in your eyes and not look like you'd ever been crying. To the point where we'd be laughing about it backstage. Because
Yeah.
that's just a
And it was something
ridiculously
ridiculous
short
too.
amount
It
of
was
time.
like a minute,
Yeah.
not even, that I had to change and like wipe my face.
Yeah,
Those are always
Yeah.
those are always fun.
it is. And then, you know, we did 4 weddings at an Elvis.
Yes.
And so it was always our thing after curtain call every night, the whole cast would go,
Yeah, kick. Yeah. Yeah, kick.
I didn't realize I have
the director, because
influence.
she was like, no, it's
That's
not
not
it.
Yeah, kick.
Don't you do it.
Yeah, kick.
Yes.
Yeah, man. You don't know. Do things. Come on, Ebenezer. Touch my robe and I shall show you the things that have been. Yeah, come on now.
So yeah, there are
There's a lot of moments in that show that just are iconic on their own. You know?
So advice for other young couples. Do you have any advice for them on doing shows together or working together or supporting each other in theater?
I was gonna say support is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times where we've gotten into arguments or, you know, didn't agree on something. We're very lucky in the sense that, you know, we literally grew up together, right? Our wedding had pictures of us from first grade sitting next to each other. And so because of that, we were also able to grow up with our love of theater and really acknowledging who each of us was individually and our needs as far as theater goes, because it is such a big part of our life. And I think
it is our
yeah.
central. It is a central wheel around us. I mean,
Right.
like it's not like it goes away anytime soon.
right. So I think supporting each other is massively important, and I think acknowledging the needs of the other person is really important. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're doing a show together, understanding that their role is just as important as your role, even if, like, you know, we did All Shook Up and he was Chad and I was in the ensemble for that one. So, you know, it was just important for us to both support each other and be there for each other.
I think it's also just being each other's biggest fans.
Yeah,
I mean, we're a unit.
Absolutely.
You know, we have to be a unit. We take on absolutely everything together.
Right.
I go to bed with this person and I wake up next to this person, and that's important just because, you know, this is who we've chosen to be with, and it's really I love that we get to share the stage together. Not everybody gets to do that. I mean, some people love just, you know, watching their significant other be up there and have that time, and that's amazing. And I'd be happy to do. I am happy to do that when it's my turn.
Right.
I think in the beginning it was a lot harder with the kids, but you know, things change. You grow and you move, and they grow, and you figure out things, and then
And now they're doing shows with us.
now they're doing shows with us, and it's like, yeah,
Or like Hunter is over the moon excited about getting to see Assassins in person.
yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
I
he
know
knows
it's gonna
all
be
the
it's gonna be
music.
a
He
little
knows
weird.
all of it.
That my son is yeah, but no, they've been listening to. They're like listening to Zangara's Death in the car, like. It's both the kids. Yeah.
Well, I will argue with one thing that you said, and you said that you wake up in the morning and go to bed at night with the person you chose to be with, and I don't think you chose. I think you two were meant to be together.
Destiny.
I think it was destiny. You
Well,
were
that's
together
very
since
sweet.
First grade. I think the stars in the heavens aligned and brought you together.
Well, I think it's what we choose to still
Yeah.
be together. I think like I honestly, after, I mean,
We
you
choose
know,
to do the work.
in 16, 17 years, yeah, I mean, like there's definitely been times, and that's the one thing I really do have to say about, you know, couple doing shows together, because we weren't always the best when it came to these other people.
Right.
Like I was, you know, catty sometimes, or we were upset with each other sometimes because we didn't communicate the best, whatever else. But now we've kind of finally gotten some feet under us. I mean, last years. But we have feet under us now and a really good foundation, whereas where we can come to each other with a better dialogue, with open dialogue, and we choose, like I said, we choose to have that communication.
So maybe destiny brought us together,
But we
choose to continue to be together.
Well put.
Oh,
I will say that you guys are one of those couples that you cannot say one without the other.
no.
It's always Emily and Ian.
Emily and Ian.
Emily and Ian.
Emily and Ian.
Yeah.
Emily and
Yeah. Emily and
I've also heard it as Ian and Emily, but you guys go ahead.
no, and you know what?
Really?
I have to say, when I was typing stuff up today and I was like Emily and Ian Diedrich, it's because E comes before I.
Yeah, no, that's
That's why
Yeah.
I did that.
I'm old school. My mom told
Ladies
me always put the lady
Before
first.
gentlemen.
absolutely.
If it
I'm
is
gonna
Ian,
cry
it's
myself
the
to
lady
sleep.
first.
So in the future, we'll just say the Diedrichs.
The Diedrichs.
There you go.
I
The
honestly.
Diedrichs, otherwise known as the Incredibles.
I don't think you
Aw.
answered my question. Is there any show that you need to that you would love to do together someday? Just the two.
Oh,
of
to
us?
do something together.
Yeah.
I would love to do some kind of maybe like a Noises Off with Emily, or
Yeah,
some
that'd be
kind of
fun.
like a Rumors, or something that is
I'm trying to think if there's a show that specifically I want to do.
eventually I'd love for our entire family to do next to normal.
Yeah, next to
I
normal.
mean, we got some time on that, but
You got some time.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
have more kids, you can do the Brady Bunch.
A musical. I agree that I think I would love to do a comedy together. I
Yeah.
think that was something we haven't seen yet. And I
Right.
would love to see the two of you just play off each other comedy wise. I think that'd be
Well,
nice.
You know, it's so funny. We did Play It Again Sam in high school.
Yes.
And he was Humphrey Bogart. And so we had a drama instructor, but to be fair, it wasn't, it was like an English teacher who was just doing it. Didn't
you
really have
you
an
guys know
idea.
how hard it is to control me.
Yeah. What?
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Kick.
So, but he
Yeah,
also didn't really get the whole like, oh, there's rights to this show. We can't like
Can't just make stuff up.
What? Ian make something.
there's all kinds of like really funny sexual innuendos that Humphrey Bogart brought to stage.
So
That
that's
was-
a Woody Allen play, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid Dames is simple. You know,
I think there could be a really good comedy film if we put a camera in the booth one day, put two people up there with the script for every Christmas story ever told,
Oh no.
and say, okay, do the cues, because we never knew what was going to happen at any, I was the character that was pretty much the and we would just go, woo.
Yeah.
I think
Crazy.
Michael and I had plenty of time up there in that show.
I never
It
had
was-
an issue. Everyone was always like, you never know what's gonna come out of Ian here. We'll feel it out. But I was
Yeah,
always
but that
like, we're in this scene now. We're gonna move forward. It's
Get
good.
off! Get off!
You know what, Michael? Thank you so much. You got my back. I appreciate that, buddy.
Absolutely.
From the first time we ever did that show, right through to the fourth
right
time.
through,
Yeah.
right through the fourth time and on to the 12th.
Oh, God.
On to the 12th. Hey, you know what? I think it's time for a game show.
I think it's time for our game.
So we're going to play a game with Emily and Ian. We're going to play this theme music. What is this game called?
It's called Jargon Gymnastics.
Or jargon if you're gassy.
Stretch your mind.
And
Yeah.
stretch your tongue.
We worked on that together.
We did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
we worked that out together.
So here's how the game goes. We're going to ask you multiple choice questions. We pick a language and give you a word from that language, and then give you three possible definitions, and you have to guess 2 out of 3 right to win the game. Now, for you guys, we want something special. So the language we picked for you is Shakespeare.
Oh.
Okay.
So these are three Shakespearean words
Or
that-
terms.
or terms that he coined and put into plays. A lot of Shakespearean words that he coined became lexicon, became words that got to be used a great deal.
Name one.
I can't right now.
That's what she said.
I saw a whole list.
That's what she. No, that really is. That's what she said. Is actually from
I really did see that. I watched the video about this. and
That's
there
what
was
she said.
There was
Taming of Macbeth. It's called.
Let's just say that you'd be really surprised how many words that we have learned to speak on a normal basis come from Shakespeare. But these are three words that never made it past the plays that they were in. So here's your first word. Kicky-wicky. Kicky-wicky. It's from All's Well That Ends Well. Is it A, a candle that just won't stay lit? Is it 2, a critical or disrespectful wife? Or is it number 3, a critical or disrespectful husband?
Oh. I think it's disrespectful wife.
You,
It's
you,
the W.
you go. You do this. You do this.
I'm gonna go with Kiki Wiki.
Don't be a
Or
kiki.
that is the. I'm gonna go with the wife. Disrespectful.
Wife is correct. It is a critical or disrespectful wife from All's Well That Ends Well. Very
I
good.
like that logic. W for wife, Kiki Wiki.
And Shakespeare, he always wrote about the wives and the women so much more than that.
Okay.
So the next word, in my mind, the next word is boggler. 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 It's from Antony and Cleopatra.
It is.
Is a boggler, number 1, a person who prefers living in a swamp? Is it number 2, a person who hesitates to act because of fear or doubt? Or is it number 3, a person who likes noisy word games that he usually loses because someone else spotted a 7-letter word? Damn it.
C.
No.
What? This one's mine. I can
Okay,
do what I
go,
want with
go.
mine. No, I'll go with B. B.
That is correct. The person who hesitates to act because of fear or doubt.
My favorite
Hold
one.
on. My heart rate is jacked. 1 second. I got it. All right, I'm good.
I believe heart rate jacked is one thing that Shakespeare came up with.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
This is my favorite.
Here's your third word.
Ready?
You ready?
No, not right now.
Cockle.
One more. Go ahead.
Cockled.
Cockled. Cockled. It's from Love's Labor's Lost.
Of course it is.
Cockled. Is it number 1? Exactly the first thought that entered Ian's head when he heard the word cockled. Is it number 2, getting woken up by a rooster? Or is it number 3, referring to the wrinkling of a piece of paper? Ed will demonstrate.
I'm gonna go with A. No, not A. Maybe D. D. I'm gonna go with D.
All
Cockhold.
of the above.
Cockhold D.
Well, it's actually number
C.
C. It is number C. Referring to a wrinkling up of a piece of paper, and I don't know why that's in there, but it's there. So congratulations, you got all 3
You
right.
won, and you won a family 4-pack of custom Take Flight Live COVID-19
Oh,
posters
hey, that's
And-
fun.
and Theater Strong Phoenix
Those
Stage
are really
Company
fun.
bracelets. We'll get those off to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations. That was awesome.
Nicely done. Nicely
Awesome.
done. Well, it's been so much fun having you guys on the show, and we loved having you with us.
Yeah, thank you both so much for taking the time. We know how busy you are.
Thank you. It's been great to chat.
We hope to
Yeah,
see
good seeing you guys. It's been a
Say hi
while.
to Chris for us.
Yeah, say hi,
Yeah,
Houk.
well,
Charlotte. Bye.
Bye.
Emily and Ian Diedrich, everyone. Ian and Emily Diedrich, everyone.
Bye.
It's fine. I like it both. All right.
Oh my gosh, they got that right. I'm so pleased.
That was nice.
That was
That was nice. We
Oh.
love them.
yes, and they're I've been friends with Ian since 2004. And I think I met Emily soon after. I met Ian during Into the Woods.
Yep.
Love that show.
It was a great show, and I soon got to know Emily, and we were there for everything leading up to the wedding, and of course
Yeah.
we went to the wedding. And
Ian is in my house.
He's in your house?
Yeah. So when we did
Does he
Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at the
yes,
Warner,
yes,
and
yes.
he was in the children's choir. He was 10 or whatever, and the cast was always like crazy, and the kids were separate. They were kind of separate of us.
Yeah.
And so I thought, let's form the houses. I was Simeon, so I was the house of Simeon.
Right.
And we divided all the kids up, and they were put into houses, but we didn't do it until closing night. So part of the closing night ceremonies was they all got little pins that said what house they were in, and they got a little certificate, and they got some
nice.
stuff. And Sharon Wilcox, now Houk,
Yeah.
and I sat up all night doing these little pins.
No.
She printed them up, and we were putting them together and
Oh,
doing all
that's
this
right. I
stuff.
remember she had the pin.
The
maker.
button maker,
the
yeah.
button
And
maker.
so
Mhm.
it was really fun. It was
Yeah.
really, really fun for us to do that. And he's in my house.
He's in
And
your house.
yeah, and his brother David was part of the show too. He
Oh,
was one
okay.
of the
Yeah.
Ishmaelites that you were, the
Oh,
the
yeah,
hairy,
yeah,
hairy
yeah.
Ishmaelites.
Ishmaelites. Yeah. They
Yeah.
brought in the camel.
Yes, you brought in the camel and the other things.
And the funny thing is, years later, you and I would do that show together.
We did, yeah.
At the same place, and Sharon directed that.
And Sharon directed it
Yeah.
at the Warner.
What a fun, and
and-
a lot of it. And Chrissy Flynn was
Chrissy
your-
Flynn was my wife
wife
the
for that
second
one.
time, and I
Mhm.
was Simeon again. It was awesome
What
fun.
an amazing show that was.
Yeah.
So much work,
Yeah.
but so nice.
So the technical buzzing that we're hearing, this is to answer our technical producer. It is
It's
indeed
the cooler.
the
isn't it?
cooler in
Yeah.
the lobby. So we just have to make sure, just like when we do shows,
Turn it
we
on,
have to
yeah.
hit that off button. on
I
there.
recognize that pitch of that thing.
Yeah, it's the cooler
Yeah.
because we had to keep our Black Hog and our half and half cool.
It's important. That's
Yeah.
what we have to do.
It's very important.
Yeah. So, shall we talk about some good news?
Yeah, we can talk about good news.
Well, I don't know if it's technically good news, but it was amusing to me. If you can actually say something like this is amusing. This week, I noticed in the Hartford Courant, actually, I noticed that Lori said, "Did you read it?" And I didn't. I had to go back and read it. But I have never seen a sequel to an obituary. A sequel.
A sequel.
I've
Okay.
seen some obituaries.
Okay.
Now, the new norm, if you will, for obituaries is that people write their own and send them into the papers. And a year ago, this obituary showed up in the Hartford Courant that became viral.
Oh, I remember it. I remember.
Joe
it.
Heller was
Yeah,
his
it was
name.
really fun.
And this is I actually reprinted. I mean, it fills a whole page.
a very small print. What is
A
that?
very
like
small, like
11 font.
maybe like 8.
Oh my gosh! And
but-
it fills it.
And it was written by his daughters.
Yes.
And it sounds like this guy was a hoot and a half. When doctors confronted his daughters with the news last week that your father is a very sick man, in unison they replied, "You have no idea." They just, he later on talks like he met the love of his life, Irene, who was hoodwinked into thinking he was a charming individual with decorum. Boy, was she ever wrong. You just got to love a family that writes something like this. Joe was a frequent shopper at the Essex dump, and he left his family with a house full of crap, 300 pounds of birdseed and dead houseplants that they have no idea what to do with. This is all part of the original obituary. And like I said,
And now there's a sequel.
it went viral. It got picked up by other news outlets. It went on all the major social networks, and it went crazy. And people heard about it. So this week in the Hartford Courant, there was a follow-up, a sequel. And said, "Well, Dad, it's been quite a year since you checked out." I'm just going to give you some highlights of it. As it turned out, the 300 pounds of birdseed was just the tip of the iceberg. We've been clearing out your man cave and the rest of the house. We formally evicted your four-legged friends. Many of your coveted treasures found their way back to the dump where you found them in the first place, but many of them wound up in a place near and dear to your heart, helping abandoned, abused animals to live a better life. And she goes on to say that it was amazing how it was picked up by even the New York Times and all the Facebook, Twitter, Yahoo, Google. We heard from every state in the United States and all over the world: Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Russia, England, Ireland, Brazil, Italy, and on. She had lost track of the newspapers, radios, and TV stations and media outlets that picked up your obituary. Someone was so touched that he actually had a billboard erected with your ugly mug on it. Heck, even a local brewery is going to name a beer after you. That is like the best thing ever. I was on CNN and NPR thanks to you, and have landed a book deal. And she said, you want to hear a really interesting thing? People thought that this guy, if you could see his mug, they thought he was the guy who wrote Catch 22.
Oh,
It wasn't. It was a different Joe Heller, and he passed away 20 years earlier. It said inappropriate T-shirts are being purchased and worn in your honor, and harmless pranks continue to be pulled off surreptitiously in your name. I listen to your old voicemails all the time demanding that I buy you pickled herring and other prohibited dietary items. Dare I say I miss your belching and farting. Thanksgiving was eerily quiet, except for the squabble over your coveted drumstick. I won. Damn it, I miss you, you old coot, signed his daughter. And P.S., where the hell is the stash of cash you said you hid?
that's awesome.
Oh, a sequel to an obituary. And everybody was touched. They had as I read it, they opened up his funeral to anybody. Come in, and we don't care if you ever met this guy. He just liked to have a good time. So come in, and they said people came from all over the state.
That's good.
Just to honor this guy who was apparently ornery and lots of fun to be with. And that's my good news. And that's the kind of obituary I want. I want people to lie about me and say good things. And
You have to one up. You have to do a trilogy.
a trilogy. Oh, I wonder what the third one would be. Luke comes back and saves everybody for it.
Okay.
What do you got? You got some good news?
My good news. 47 days to election day.
Vote.
Oh.
I got mine.
No,
tonight.
you know what? And that's just because I'll be so glad when we're through this whole cycle and we can stop hearing about elections and stop seeing commercials and stop. I think everybody, I'm sure the phone calls will start soon, the ring, ring, and hello, hello, this is hello, please vote for hello, and so I'm just 47 days.
Yeah.
So please, get out there and vote, exercise so that they'll stop bothering us. Exercise your rights. You can exercise too. You can exercise on your way to the polls to vote, or exercise on your way to the mailbox to mail your ballot. Whatever you're going to do, just vote so that they'll shut up and leave us alone.
But since last show, we are 7 days. Last show it was 54 days. Now it's 47 days.
It's
So
true.
we're getting there.
So
we're getting there.
We're getting there. And and then my other good news is it's fall and everything pumpkin is back.
You know what? This has always been my favorite time of the year, but I got to say, this week was one of those weeks where it only happens this time of year where I have a fan and a heater in my office, at my home office to work, because I don't know if it's going to be too warm or too cold.
Yeah, it's true.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love this is the best time of year to be outside.
Yeah, the air conditioner is still in my bedroom window
Yeah.
because my bedroom is on the top floor and it's a little hot. And so I never know what's it going to be like when I get home. Is it going to be 100 degrees in that room, or is it time? So hopefully next week I'll be able to take that out and get some fresh air.
Lori got her mums.
Yeah.
She got mums and she got pumpkins down from Terry's down in Naugatuck, and so we're starting to decorate a little bit for that.
And I have my pumpkin spiced coffee at home, and we've had our first pumpkin spice beer this season.
We had pumpkin beer. It was
And
very good.
last night was poker night, and so I brought a pumpkin Dutch roll.
Pumpkin Dutch roll. So
Yes.
it's like a pumpkin cake with.
It's a pumpkin cake with cream cheese in the middle, and they roll it up.
I didn't know some people like. I think
That's
Kristen-
why I was surprised this still fits.
Yeah, Kristen Jacobson. I think she's big time pumpkin.
Oh,
She goes nuts for the pumpkin stuff.
I love pumpkin stuff.
I was always a Thanksgiving pumpkin person.
Yeah.
Just some pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving, and that was good enough for me.
Do you so pumpkin pie, whipped cream or no whipped cream?
The first question is hot or cold? Because my mom would have to make 2 pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving, keep one in the oven, and put one
I don't
in the
know that I've
fridge.
ever had hot pumpkin pie.
Oh, I love hot.
When you can find it, by the way, also though, pumpkin spice frosted mini wheats.
That sounds
No,
horrible.
I'm sorry. That's crossing the line. Pumpkin cereal.
Delicious.
So listen. We're gonna ask our viewers.
Yes.
Pumpkin pie with whipped cream or not whipped cream?
Okay.
And is it Cool Whip?
No.
Or whipped cream.
No. Absolutely, the only way to have proper pumpkin pie is hot with fresh made whipped cream by my Aunt Bert, which we can't do anymore. But She was the one that would make that every year at Thanksgiving, would make that big bowl of the fresh whipped stuff.
I don't, you know what?
Really thick, too.
I don't know if I've ever had warm or hot pumpkin pie. So I'm sure that my sister is watching, and just know that at Thanksgiving this year, we're going to have both hot and cold pumpkin pie because I want to know the difference.
Save me some hot pie.
So we'll do that. We'll do that at Thanksgiving. I think it's just going to be 3 or 4 of us this year. You know, it's just the families get smaller as people move away, and
it's tougher
with all the distancing and things like that.
And with the past event, Bert, this year, last year, we that she was the matriarch of our family for Thanksgiving, and then we did have Thanksgiving with 20 some odd people in it.
Yeah.
But that's
no, and we're getting old now. We have to be careful about the COVID.
Let's hope it's over by then, so we can have some good Thanksgiving.
Well, I don't know that it'll be over, but you know,
well, I mean,
we'll be easing up a little bit and doing all of that stuff.
Wear your masks.
Yeah, wear your masks, please. We don't want to get any fines out there. It's $100 fine now in Connecticut.
And that could cost like a trip to the casino or something. That came out of nowhere.
Bingo did start up at Foxwoods again.
Did it?
Yes, bingo is back at Foxwoods. I got an email today saying, "Hey, come play bingo." Because I took my dad to play bingo.
Oh yeah.
Sharon and I used to go. My family
used to be lucky at that.
It was a family.
Too, right?
I was pretty lucky there. But you have to wear a mask all the time.
Yeah.
It's first come first serve because they're distancing everyone out. And
sure, so it's not gonna be as many.
It used to be you could like go to one of the restaurants in the casino, grab food, and bring it in with you. Nope. It's all got to be. You have to eat the food they serve in the bingo hall, and it's all wrapped individually. No more snack bar. It's all by ordering. So it's changing, but it's back. So if you want to check it out, go to Foxwoods and play some bingo.
Yeah, we haven't been there. I don't think we ever went there with you for bingo.
Once. I think we went together once, but it was a long time ago.
So it's also apple picking time.
It is.
I think they're allowing that, right? Apple picking.
Yeah, I'm sure it's an outside activity. So I'm sure that's the kind of stuff.
That used to get me in such trouble, apple picking, because it would be just Lori and me, and we'd come home with like 5 bags of apples.
So my sister in Vermont is picking her apples. She has apple trees, but it's to keep the horses away from them. Because apparently it's not good for the horses to eat a whole apple because they get stuck in their throat and stuff. She just had to call a vet and have a tube stuck down the horse's nose to get the apple out or something. I don't know exactly what she was telling me, and I was just kind of grossing out about an apple coming out of the horse's nose.
Well, that's a happy thought. We should probably close on that.
Hold on.
No, we going crazy about these.
But the pumpkin pie, we started a controversy
on the Cool Whip or the
Cool Whip, just the real stuff.
But I love Cool Whip.
Well, Cool Whip is good for some things.
But I have to say this.
Yeah.
Better than Cool Whip.
Whip.
I was at Tim's niece's home not long ago when we were allowed to go, and she introduced me to. It's a tub that looks like Cool Whip, but it's cream cheese. Or not cream cheese, it's cheesecake. It's pre-made cheesecake in a tub that looks like Cool Whip. It's the filling of it. For you to make a cream cheese, I was just dipping graham crackers in it and eating it. That's why I'm surprised this fits.
What's that? That was made by Cool Whip, right?
I don't know who it was made by, but it was so amazingly good. We dipped vanilla wafers in it and graham crackers. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
And that was summertime, so that's surprising.
It was really
Jen's really good at finding these very weird things, and usually either sending me a picture if it's totally disgusting, or buying it and bringing it home.
That's the one. So that's the one other pumpkin thing that I'm a little about is pumpkin cheesecake.
Oh, I love pumpkin.
It's you got to be right.
Yeah.
If it's too pumpkin-y, it's just weird because it's like a soft pumpkin pie.
Well, what's that? Oh, Cheesecake Factory. Their pumpkin cheesecake.
He was writing for a really long time.
Somebody wrote a dissertation.
Let's see if anybody's twerking.
This has absolutely nothing to do with our theme today.
Amber, hot with whipped cream. Casey, cold with Cool Whip and hot tea.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, my sister likes Debbie. She likes cold with whipped cream.
Oh,
Laura with real, in capital letters, handmade whipped cream.
Okay.
Eric, apple or mixed berry pie. It doesn't count. We were asking about pumpkin.
Stay with the program.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Oh, Karen Willie, Mama Willie.
Yeah.
Yuck pumpkin pie.
Oh, happy birthday. We're giving you a pumpkin pie.
Oh man. Casey Hot apple pie. Where'd the apple come from? We're
We'll
talking about
ask you
pumpkin
about
pie.
apple another
Oh
time.
my God. Maybe because you
Jesus.
brought up apple picking.
So,
Laura, Ed, do you want pumpkin cheesecake? You know what, Laura, I will say this. Laura makes the most
Oh.
amazing cheesecake in the whole world. So Laura, if you bring a pumpkin cheesecake to the Halloween show, because they're coming to the Halloween show, to the studio audience, I will eat that pumpkin cheesecake. We'll have it together.
I have to say, there's been times I've directed her in Fools, and I've been in shows with her, several shows with her, and I think I love working with her. I love having her around. But boy, man, she makes those cheesecakes.
Oh, she brings those cheesecakes to the opening night cast
and I
parties.
beg her,
and
it's like, could you make one for closing night too?
I'll just
Because
park myself right there with a spoon because
just slap it on your butt.
That's why I'm surprised this thing fits. Because
It's not how you eat things.
I've said it over and over.
What's that?
It's not how you eat things.
So
Slapping on my butt.
So what are we doing next week, Tim?
Next week we're having a good friend, Kristen Morrissey. We haven't seen Kristen.
We
in
have
so
not
long.
seen Kristen in
And
so
Kristen is-
long.
Kristen's very helpful with our social media.
Yeah, she's very helpful with our social media. Unfortunately, I've not been in touch with her a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's been crazy with this whole COVID thing, especially with the two young boys.
Oh, sure.
It's
yeah.
been really, really crazy.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So don't forget to follow our channel. And we need to thank our sponsors.
Yes, we do.
I think the screen is changing. Look at that. We need to thank our sponsors. Black Hawk Brewing Company from
Oxford, Connecticut.
Oxford, Connecticut, out there by the airport. They still have their outside area.
We were out there just the other day.
We were just out the other day. And Sierra Ridge Media Arts, Deb Cryan.
Thanks, Deb.
Thank you, Deb, for everything you do for Phoenix Stage Company and for everyone else. She's a great mom.
She is. She's a
Yeah,
sweetheart.
so thank you, Deb, for everything that you do. You can make a donation at any time to support your local theater at phoenix-stage-company.square.site. It's been a good night.
It wasn't a fun night.
Yeah, thank you all so much for watching and for participating with us.
Yep.
Thank you, Michael, for your technical prowess.
Always.
And thank you very much, Al Hathaway, for bringing me my Black Hog and making us look glowingly beautiful.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's it for now.
I think
Goodbye
we
for
covered
now.
everything.
Talk to you next week. Say goodnight, Tim.
Good night, Tim. Are we off yet?